Hey there, welcome to Legends of All Time. Today we're traveling to ancient China to meet a ruler who decided that one kingdom wasn't enough, he wanted the whole map. His name is Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a unified China, and his story is a mix of genius, iron will, fear, and obsession with control. Imagine a world of constant war. 7 big states fight each other for land, power, and survival. Cities burn. Borders move every few years. People grow up not knowing if their home will still belong to the same country tomorrow. This time is called the Warring States period. Qin, the state of our hero, is seen as tough but barbaric by some neighbors. That doesn't bother him. It becomes his secret weapon. Qin Shi Huang starts as King Zhang of Qin. He comes to the throne as a teenager, and many assume others will rule for him. But this young king is watching, learning, and waiting. He has one big idea. If all these states keep fighting, everyone loses. The only way to stop the chaos is to crush the rivals and build one strong empire. Not an alliance, not a treaty. One center, one ruler, one law. To reach that, he needs brains as much as swords. One of the key people around him is a strategist named Li Si. He pushes a strict philosophy. People must obey the state. Laws must be clear and harsh, and rewards and punishments must be sharp like a blade. No soft talk about virtue, just order. This approach is later called legalism. It fits Qin perfectly. The king wants results, not pretty speeches. Qin armies move like a machine. They use iron weapons, clever tactics, and strict discipline. One by one, the other states fall. Han, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, Qi all get swallowed. It's not a romantic story of gentle unification. It's a campaign of total victory. When the dust finally settles in 221 BCE, King Zhang has done what no one before him managed. He stands as the ruler of all the major Chinese states. A new title is born, Huangdi, Emperor. He becomes Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor. Now he owns a giant puzzle of lands, laws, currencies, and writing systems that don't match. If he does nothing, it all falls apart again. So he moves to unify not just territory, but daily life. He orders one standard script for writing, one standard for coins, one standard for weights and measures. Even the width of wagon axles is standardized, so wheels fit the same ruts on the roads across the empire. Trade, taxes, and communication become smoother. People in far regions can now read the same characters and use the same money. He also looks at the map and sees a mess of old walls built by different states to block each other. He doesn't like messy. He orders these walls to be linked and extended along the northern frontier. The result is an early version of what later ages will call the Great Wall. Thousands of workers, soldiers, and prisoners labor on high ridges, moving earth and stone by hand. Many die from exhaustion, cold, and hunger. For them, the wall is not a wonder. It's a grave line across the mountains. Inside the empire, Qin Shi Huang wants absolute control. He doesn't trust old noble families or independent thinkers. He divides the land into commanderies and counties ruled by officials he can appoint and move. No more powerful local lords with private armies. He breaks their strength and pulls power into the center. For a simple farmer, it means you now answer to the emperor's law, not a local warlord's mood. His harshest moves are against books and ideas he sees as threats. Scholars who criticize his rule or praise the good old days annoy him deeply. He orders many classic texts to be burned, especially those that question his authority or promote alternative ways of ruling. Some scholars are reportedly executed or buried alive for resisting. Knowledge becomes something dangerous if it doesn't serve the state. It's one of the darkest chapters of his rule. Yet the same man who burns books also builds on a scale few can imagine. Roads cut across the empire like veins. Canals link rivers to move grain and goods. His capital, Xianyang, grows into a center of power and display. Envoys, officials, and soldiers pour in and out. The message is clear. This is the heart of the new world, and it beats to the emperor's rhythm. As he gets older, Qin Shi Huang becomes obsessed with another enemy, death. He has united the land, broken his rivals, reshaped daily life, but his own body still has an end. That feels unacceptable. He sends envoys to search for magical islands and elixirs of immortality. Alchemists mix strange potions, some of them full of mercury and other poisons. Ironically, in trying to live forever, he may have been slowly killing himself from the inside. While he chases immortality, he also prepares for the afterlife like it's another kingdom to rule. Near his capital, he orders the construction of a huge underground tomb complex. The most famous part, discovered many centuries later, is the Terracotta Army. Thousands of life-size clay soldiers, each with a unique face, lined up in battle formations. There are horses, chariots, officers, a full ghostly army ready to guard their emperor after death. Craftsmen spend years shaping, painting, and arranging them. The scale is insane, but it fits his character. Even in the dark, he wants to be surrounded by power. His rule is effective but brutal. People feel the weight of forced labor, heavy taxes, and strict punishments. If you steal, you might lose more than your freedom. If you disobey, you might lose your life. For some, the empire brings peace after centuries of war. For others, it feels like living inside a steel cage. Order has come, but it came with chains. In 210 BCE, while traveling across his empire, Qin Shi Huang falls ill and dies far from the capital. His death is kept secret at first by officials who fear chaos, but news cannot be hidden forever. Without his will and fear to hold everything together, cracks appear fast. Court struggles erupt. A rebellion led by peasants and former soldiers grows into a full-scale wave. Within a few years, the Qin dynasty collapses. The First Empire lasts only about 15 years after unification. So, was it all for nothing? Not really. The Qin dynasty is short, but the shape of China it created remains. Later dynasties, like the Han, will soften the harshness, bring back classic texts, and adjust the laws. But they keep many of the structures Qin Shi Huang built: centralized administration, standardized writing, and the idea that China is one political unit, not just a collection of rival states. His style is too hard to survive. His framework is too useful to throw away. Qin Shi Huang is one of those rulers who force you to feel two things at once. On one side, admiration for his focus, speed, and ability to turn a dream of unity into reality. On the other side, fear for his cruelty, control, and readiness to crush anything that stands in his way, including ideas and people. When you think of him, picture huge walls crawling over mountain ridges. Picture straight roads cutting through fields and hills. Picture heavy stone weights, unified coins, and neat rows of characters on bamboo strips. Picture also the fire of burning books at night and the silent clay faces of soldiers buried underground, waiting for a command that will never come. Qin Shi Huang didn't live forever. His name, though, did. He became the symbol of the first unified China, the man who hammered many pieces into one whole. His empire died, but the idea of China as a single great state survived and grew on top of his foundations. If this story about Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a unified China, kept you hooked, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to Legends of All Time, and check out other videos on our channel. There are many more powerful rulers, turning points, and incredible lives waiting for you there.